Merry Bowl season, everyone. I'm Brett Gibbons with TheLines.com, and today we're breaking down the CFB Fiesta Bowl. That is a college football playoff semifinal between number 2 Michigan and number 3 TCU. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the Lines YouTube channel as we're here breaking down all 41 bowl games and the college football playoff this postseason. The Fiesta Bowl, we have Michigan favored by 7.5 points over TCU. This one kicks Saturday, December 31st at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. It's got an over-under of 58.5 points. They're playing this one out in the desert, Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium. Michigan playing in their second straight playoff, and TCU, they're making their first ever after they were, some would say, snubbed from the initial college football playoff. But the Frogs have made it. They have arrived. They are playing in the college football playoff. Michigan, their biggest inactive, their biggest hole here is that Blake Corum, who's on just a tear. He got hurt, unfortunately. He's done. He will not play in this game or the national championship game should the Wolverines reach there. I think it's a big blow to their offense. However, we are looking at backup Donovan Edwards, who, would be a starter on just about every other FBS team in the country and be an absolute star. He's a star in the making. We saw it against Ohio State already. We saw it in the Big Ten championship game, that he can be almost as big a threat as Corum is. So I'm not really sure that missing Blake Corum is really like a make or break absence. I'm not looking at it like, well, Blake Corum's not playing. I don't know if I could think of Michigan the same. Yeah, you can. Donovan Edwards is a suitable star in the making. So if we're trying to build a case here for TCU, they're battle-tested with close games. They played really tough opponents, very high strength of schedule. They played a lot of ranked teams. They've gotten behind and been able to come back, close gaps, and score a bunch of points. So they're very, very battle-tested. There is absolutely no question that this team is ready to play in this game. They're also talented enough to score on Michigan. They really are. We've seen Michigan give up big plays, and that's what TCU predicates their entire offense on, is the big play. They have enough playmakers at receiver. Kendre Miller is an outstanding running back, and of course, Max Duggan, runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. They have the talent to be able to score. Their defense also played a lot better down the stretch. You look at games against Texas to close out the year. Iowa State, I know that they were barely a team, but you still hold them. You shut them out as badly as you did. Their defense played a lot better down the stretch, whereas the first half of this season, it was considered a liability for them. I wouldn't really call it even a liability anymore. I think it's a decent unit. It's not their strength, but I don't think it's such a glaring weakness that it's something we can consider as, you better bet against TCU because that defense stinks. You're also considering the fact that they've been counted out and basically outperformed the spread all season long. That I've been on here multiple times saying that, the spread, the market has not caught up to TCU. Maybe it's catching up a little bit now because that line moved from an opening number of 9 to 7.5. So that's the case for TCU. They're battle tested, they're explosive, better on defense than they have been, and they've outperformed the spread all season long. Now building a case for Michigan. They're the most physical team TCU's played by a wide margin. I don't think TCU's played a team that wants to hit you as hard as Michigan does play after play after play. TCU is also less successful defensively against the rush. Michigan is a very strong rushing team. They are going to run the football quite a bit in this game. Michigan also has the athletes to handle TCU's playmakers. So TCU has the talent, has the playmakers. Michigan's defensive backfield and linebackers are absolutely athletic enough to run with these guys as well, and skilled enough. They're also a very smart group. They're not really going to beat themselves on defense all that much. So Michigan is fourth in the country in EPA against the rush on defense. TCU's Kendre Miller, I've talked about, he's excellent. They're a strong running team. You think about them as a high-flying vertical passing offense, but in reality, their offense starts with a good running game. And also Michigan, they've already experienced college football playoff. They've been there before, even though they got beat. They did play last year, so they know what it's like to play in these kinds of games. Whereas TCU, this is new territory for them. So, and finally for Michigan, they proved that they can throw the ball down the field when the run game is not available. We saw it in the first half against Ohio State, that if they need to make an adjustment and go elsewhere on offense, they absolutely can. So that's the case for Michigan. Extremely physical. They can run the heck out of the ball, and TCU's not the best against defending the run all year. They have the athletes to handle the playmakers. They've been in the playoff, and they're adaptable. So I'm probably sitting back and watching this first drive. I need to see how TCU handles the run game. If Donovan Edwards is ripping off 12, 14, 20-yard gains to start it, I'm not going to be really too confident in TCU's side here. And, you know, when you're betting the playoffs, the spreads and totals are a much stronger market. So you need to look at tangential markets to kind of exploit the weaknesses, because there's a ton of information, especially in the playoff. A lot of eyes on there. It's been kind of hammered already into place. You saw the line movement. But, how does TCU handle Michigan's rushing attack? When they played Texas, really, they played exceptional. 28 rushing yards allowed all game long. So, if you're stacking the box, McCarthy's not hitting those throws, and you're able to kind of take that run game away, TCU is going to be very, very competitive in this game. But if Michigan's starting to, gouge them a little bit early, maybe taking Michigan live is the way to go. I just don't love it on this side of 7, just because you're missing that 14% bump that you get at 7 points. So the 2 bets that I'm looking at for this game, TCU plus 4.5 in the first half. I expect them to come out fast. I expect them to try some different things, maybe throw some wrinkles in their game plan that Michigan has not yet seen on tape. And Michigan's a much better second half team. I mean, so was TCU. They mounted a lot of comebacks, but I'm more confident in TCU's ability to come out and play really fast and really well. Maybe some no huddle, really push Michigan's defense. But what makes Michigan so dangerous is we've seen their second half adjustments. So I like the first half better than the full game here. Plus 4.5 is also nice because that's kind of more based on a plus 9 full game spread. So if it's plus 7 or plus 7.5, you're probably more often than not going to see a plus 3.5 number for that first half. We're getting plus 4.5. I like it a lot. So that's my first bet that I'm looking at, TCU plus 4.5 in the first half. And I think you can also play over their team total of 24.5 points. The biggest worry on the point spread, again, is just Michigan's adjustments in the second half, and also TCU taking all those body shot after body shot after body shot with Michigan. Max Duggan, he always seems to get beat up because he's a gamer, he's tough, but he always seems to get beat up in these games. I'm worried about TCU running out of gas late. So if you play over their team total and they get off to a fast start, I think they'll be able to score in this game. So that's why I'm looking at their team total. It's a little bit weaker of a market. That first half line's really exciting because I don't believe that it moved congruently with the first half, or with the full game spread. So TCU plus 4.5 first half and over 24.5 team total is where I'm looking at for the College Football Playoff and the Fiesta Bowl. But hop on over to our Discord server where you can connect with over 4,000 sports betting fans. You get live updates in our college football server, transfers, opt-outs, inactives, injuries, coaching changes, anything you need to know to be prepared throughout bowl season. You can find it in our Discord. And if you go over and click on the hashtag #RollServer, drop an emoji under my name, you'll get my live bowl bets all December long for the rest of this year into the new year, because when I place a bet, I'm putting it in the Discord as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Lines YouTube for daily bowl videos just like this one, and comment what side you lean in the College Football Playoff. This is a major game. There's a lot of opinions out there. I want to hear them. Drop them in the comments or let me know on Twitter at Road to CFB. But thank you so much as always for watching. I'm Brett Gibbons, and have a very merry bowl season.